Let's see, time now is 7:52. So a trial to extend the school day in Wales is coming to an end. The last 10 weeks, 1,800 pupils at 14 schools have been offered an extra 5 hours a week with focus more on activities than academic learning.
Now, our correspondent, Hal Griffith, has been to one school to see how it's been going.
It's changed definitely for me because I've enjoyed school a lot more because it's something to look forward to at the end of the day. The day flies past really fast.
Before, it used to be a bit boring. After you go home, there's nothing really to do. But now there's something to look forward to and do, like, after school.
So you'll be sad to see it end?
Yeah.
Spread the dough out and you're going to turn the tray as you do it.
Time's up on this school's big experiment. An extra hour every day for 10 weeks to stretch and excite these children about learning again coming out of the pandemic. So, did it work?
Yeah, it's made it feel a little bit different because when I wasn't doing these activities, I was looking forward to go home and play on my iPad and all that. But now, after school, I get to do other activities and I get to see my friends more time.
Yes, great.
Good.
From taekwondo to Lego and ceramics, they've been put through their paces, not in traditional academic subjects, but sessions that help build confidence. It also helped out many parents, like Jordan, whose daughter took part.
I would say it's been beneficial. As a working parent, I would say it's definitely been more beneficial because instead of thinking about childcare costs, they're staying in school that extra time.
After 10 weeks of cooking, drumming, dancing and everything else, one lesson has already been learnt. That rolling out the extra hour for every school and every pupil in Wales would be hugely complicated and expensive.
Hello, come on in. Welcome to the Wet Lego Club.
The school had the freedom to piece together its own plan, with staff offered extra pay if they wanted to help, and local companies employed to come in too. Only years 5 and 6 took part. Offering it to every child would be tough.
It would be a very difficult task to run for every year group, especially for us being over 3 sites. It would definitely need possibly 1 or 2 full-time employers to...
So huge undertaking.
Yeah, huge, yeah, definitely.
And expensive, I guess.
Yeah.
When you go home, you're going to cook these. They're going to have to go in the oven, OK?
So what will the end result be? Some unions oppose the extra hours, warning they can turn schools into childcare centres. The Welsh Government says it will evaluate what's been learnt here before making any decisions. Hal Griffith, BBC News, Abertillery.
Well, let's talk to Hal now, who's at a school. Hal, morning to you. I suppose it's the wrong end of the day in terms of these extra activities, but the question always was, wasn't it, that, you know, it wasn't always met with much enthusiasm, this scheme. It's about, has it actually worked? Has it made a difference?
Yeah, and how really do you evaluate what impact having an extra hour of the day at the end of the day has on their learning? You've seen some of the activities the children do in that, and with real enthusiasm for what I've seen over the last 10 weeks. Let's speak to Claire Price. She's the head of learning here. I mean, we've seen some of the things there, taekwondo, cooking. Give us an idea of the other things the children have been doing.
Yeah, so some of the activities, they've mainly been around the health and well-being and creative arts. We've had cookery, ceramics, sports leadership, some drumming activities and dance as well.
So not so much academic things. How do you measure then how that feeds into their normal learning, their numeracy, their literacy, all those things? Yeah, we were really keen that this wasn't going to be solely academic focus. Our rationale was to focus on their well-being, their social and emotional skills. We know that's what suffered during the pandemic. So we're gauging really anecdotally now how that's been transferred into the classroom. Their confidence to try new skills, to try new activities has transferred into their learning. So they're more willing to make mistakes, they're more willing to have a go, to have a voice and an active say in their learning. And when I was speaking to some of the children a couple of weeks ago, one thing I noticed was they were talking about being sociable again. During the pandemic, that's maybe the side of their life that really suffered. That's what they reported, particularly in the second lockdown, you know, in the winter.
they reported they were lonely, they missed their friends, and it's not the same. You know, we were very flexible and transferred to blended learning, but it's not the same as interaction face-to-face with their friends. And that was the focus. They wanted to be with their friends after school, which is why they participated.
Now, this wasn't meant to be just about catch-up. The idea is it could change the school day in Wales forever. Based on what you've seen over the last 10 weeks, how realistic would it be to roll this out? Well, across, you've got 3 campuses here and potentially across every year group as well.
Yeah, that's our biggest challenge. So we are a multi-site campus, so we needed to have that equitable offer. Beyond 1 year group, beyond 2 year groups, there is a financial implication. We would need to consider what funding streams would allow us to move this delivery model forward. But to roll it out to wider year groups across many evenings would certainly be our biggest challenge.
And you might have to employ more staff and all those types.
Yeah, we've tried to keep the impact to staff minimal in the impact of their work, although it has been for certain members of staff who've offered the provision. But we would need to perhaps have a role designated to offer in that sort of provision. And we would look maybe to develop links within the community. We've shown we're flexible, and perhaps it could be a community-based project moving forward.
OK, Claire, thanks very much for your time and for the last 10 weeks. We'll get to hopefully speak to some of the children later on in the programme if you join us here again in Abertillery.
Very interesting, Hal. Thank you very much. Talk to you later on. Well, some children might balk at the idea of having extra hours in school, but I have to tell you the response here has been pretty enthusiastic. Let's speak to some of the children now. First of all, Lily and Miley, give me an idea of the things you've enjoyed the most.
I'd say like cooking and martial arts.
What about you, Miley?
I like dancing and probably cooking.
You've been pretty busy. Now, Joshua, I know you've been cooking. What's been the end result of all that?
I've actually started to make my own packed lunches at home.
You make your own lunches?
Yeah, to like bring to school and I eat them in school.
Wow, how do your parents feel about that?
I think she likes it.
Pretty pleased. William and Matab, now the idea is you change how you feel about school. Have things changed over the last 10 weeks, William?
Yeah, I feel like it's more like exciting to go to school because you know at the end of the day there's going to be something you can like look forward to.
And how about you, Matab? I mean, unfortunately, we're at the end of the 10 weeks now. Have things changed for you?
Yeah, there's something to look forward to. Before there was like nothing to do at home. Now there's something to do after school.
OK, well, it sounds like you've all enjoyed it. How about the staff? Kerry Jones is the business manager here. I mean, have you seen the pupils change? Because their activities, but has that affected their learning as well?
Yes, we've seen a very positive experience in the classroom. They've transferred the new skills that they've learned and become very confident in getting involved in activities. And this was all about their emotional well-being. So we think that that's been a very positive outcome.
The big question, though, is realistically, do you think it could be rolled out right across the school?
I think the challenge with its existing model would be very difficult. But there's an opportunity here for us to be able to talk about a wider community engagement, feeding in educational expertise and providing that the funding was in place. I think this is something that could work in the future. OK, well, congratulations on the last 10 weeks. The Welsh Government says it will evaluate what's happened here and across Wales before making any big decisions. Back to you.
Hal, thank you very much. That's all from breakfast this morning. Back tomorrow.